This part of the Hidden Machine series, every episode explores one mechanism the brain uses below your awareness that is quietly ruining your life. This is episode 5. I want you to do something right now. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not your favorite people, not the people you wish you spent more time with. The actual 5, the ones who are physically present in your life the most. Now think about your habits, how much you exercise, what you eat, how much you drink. Think about your ambitions, how big they are, how serious you take them. Think about how you talk about money, how much risk you are willing to take, how much you complain, how much you believe. Think can change. Now here is the uncomfortable part. Most of these things are not originally yours, they are average of the people around you, absorbed so slowly and so completely that you never notice it happening. And you would argue with me on this if I suggest it directly, which is exactly how it works. The self-improvement industry is built on a specific idea. The individual is self-contained, autonomous, rational, making independent decisions based on their own values and goals. It is a useful idea for selling books and courses and programs because if you are self-contained, then the solution is something you do alone, something you buy, something you apply to yourself. But it's not how humans actually work. Humans are not self-contained units. We are nodes in a network, and the network is ruining processes we are not aware of and would not consent to if we were. In 1948, a major medical study began tracking over 5,000 people in a single town in Massachusetts, the Framingham Health Study. It was designed to track cardiovascular health, but decades later, researchers looked at the data differently. They mapped the social connection between participants who knew who spent time with who across 30 years, and they found something that should not have been there. Obesity was spreading through the social network like an infection. Not through shared diet or shared environment, through social connection. If a close friend became obese, your risk of becoming obese increased by 45%, not because you eat together, because your sense of what is normal body shifts. Your standard recalibrates without a single conversation about it. A friend of a friend, someone you may barely know, became obese, your risk increased by 20%. 3 degrees of separation. People who have never met each other, never shared a meal, never spoken, still a 10% increase. Then the researchers looked for the same pattern in other behaviors. They found in smoking, they found it in happiness, they found it in loneliness, they found it in divorce rates, they found it in financial risk tolerance, they found it in political views, they found it in alcohol consumption. Every single one, the same contagion pattern, moved through social networks, 3 degrees deep without anyone intending to transmit anything. We are not making independent decisions about how to live. We are averaging the network we exist inside. And here is where most people make a specific mistake. When they hear this, they think, I know about this now, so I will just be aware and not let it affect me. Look, I have seen this reaction in myself, and the research destroys it completely. In the 1950s, Solomon's Asch conducted a series of experiments that became one of the most replicated findings in social psychology. He put people in a room without others and asked them a simple question: which of these 3 lines is the same length as this line? The answer was obvious, unambiguous, visibly clear, but everyone else in the room who were confirmed part of the experiment gave the wrong answer, and 70% of participants gave the wrong answer at least once, not because they could see the correct answer. They could because the social pressure to conform override what they were own eye were telling them. And here's the part that matters for us today. The participants knew they were in an experiment. They knew they were being watched. Some of them knew about conformity research. They conformed anyway. Awareness changed almost nothing. The pull of the network is not intellectual, it is neurological. The operations before conscious thought gets involved. Knowing about it does not turn it off. The only move that actually works is changing the inputs. And this goes deeper than behavior. It goes into network's system itself. When someone near us is coherently anxious, our nervous system begins to simulate that state. The mirror neurons system, which fires both when we experience something and when we observe someone else experiencing it, is absorbing the emotional state of the people around us constantly and autonomously. When they are anxious, we start to feel slightly more anxious. When they are confident and calm, something shifts in the other direction. The chronic emotion state became all background noise. And the ceiling became our sense of what is possible. This is not metaphor. This is simply neuroscience. If the people around you believe that financial security is impossible for people like you, that belief does not have to be spoken out loud to reach you. It travels through what they do not do, through the risk they don't take, through the ambitions they quietly dismiss, through the ceiling they live under, and through being around that long enough, you internalize this feeling, not as conscious decision, as felt sense of what is realistic. So what do we do with this? 3 questions, and I would recommend with the answers down. Not tracking them, read them, because thinking allows comfortable vagueness, written force specificity. And first question, why in my life makes what I want to feel normal and achievable, and how make it feel excessive, unrealistic, or slightly embarrassing? Name the people, be specific. Second question, after spending time with specific people, not general, with specific people, do I feel with more energy and clarity or less? This is a simple information that most people never actually collect it for weeks, just notice. And third question, if I became the average of the people I currently spend the time most with, in their habits, their ambitions, their emotional state, their beliefs about what is possible, is the result a version of myself I want to be? Answer honestly, not what feels loyal, what is true. And one more thing before we go, because this cuts both ways. Our decisions to change something, to stop smoking, to take better care of ourselves, to build something, to treat people differently, that decision travels outward through our network, to friends of friends, to people 3 degrees out. We will never have direct conversation with about it, to people who do not know they exist. We are not just receiving, we are transmitting. The person we are becoming right now is already moving through our network toward people we will never meet, changing their sense of what is possible, shifting their baseline in the same silent way that other people's choices once moved through the network and reached us. That is either a responsibility or an opportunity, probably both. Look at the 5 people, ask 3 questions, write the answer down, be honest about what they tell you. And in next video, why we cannot save money, not discipline, not willpower, But, as always, neuroscience.